Hey everybody, don't mind the hair. I haven't got it cut in a while. Um, I wanted to say, um, go over some mental health stuff in this video. Uh, I have anxiety. I've had a long history with it. My mom had it, so she passed it down to me. And basically, when it gets really bad, I have generalized anxiety disorder when it gets out of hand. And so for the last year, really, since we've been having this pandemic, um, at first it was like, okay, it's just not bothering my mental health at all. I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Like everyone's experiencing this at once. And then when it started getting closer to home, and when I started seeing, the worst possible scenarios happening, like the firsthand accounts from nurses and doctors in the hospitals, they're going to see the worst of the worst. And the sad part is that I was watching an interview with two doctors who were really going in depth. It was a well balanced, non fear based, non hysteria interview between both of them. And um, basically, one guy brought this word to attention, and he said that what the what doctors and nurses are doing in the hospitals is they're sharing their experiences, and they're only seeing the worst of the worst. They're not seeing the other 98% of people, or the other 80% of people who don't experience anything really at all, or just like mild stuff, or no symptoms whatsoever. And so that is causing a hysteria, that's causing like fear to and panic to ensue in everybody, and it got me like really hard. And it's they're catastrophizing, I think that's the word, the whole picture, everything about it, and they're not seeing the bigger picture, and understanding that, okay, it's just mainly people that are, that have really bad health issues already, and they're in that high risk range for death. And everyone in the media, and especially Twitter, was just acting like everyone's going to die from this and everyone's going to drop dead. And so that started everything with me. I was having really bad chest pains, shortness of breath. My back was in a lot of pain, and I was thinking, if I got the virus, that's it for me. I'm dead. Done deal. That's it. And I was thinking the worst possible case scenario, but I'm not even really in high risk at all for really anything. And it's just my anxiety drove me to the point where it wasn't just a pandemic, but it was bills on top of bills on top of bills. And I also have health anxiety. So really it's that's a double whammy for me. So generalized anxiety disorder, panicking, and also having health anxiety, thinking that like what's gonna happen to my health if I get it. Then like then like because my immune system was shot because of all my stress, then I'm dead or whatever. And so basically, I I was scared. I was extremely scared, and I didn't know what to do. And the pressures of not having money, and just being so impatient with myself about needing to find a job as quickly as possible, and me also worrying about getting sick and dying, and on top of that, my injuries that I have accumulated over this past year, uh, dealing with a back issue that kind of hinders a lot of stuff that I do, so I can't really work out that well as I want to. And on top of that, two new injuries that I got to my feet while I was in rehab for my back injury. And so all this constant pressure, and what I was trying to do was um I was so hard on myself for trying to get my injuries completely done, trying to get back 100% healthy and everything. And I wasn't giving myself any time at all. And I couldn't deal with all the stress at once. And I tried meditating once, and that kind of gave me like this really weird empty feeling, and it just made me feel weird, and I didn't like it at all. Then the second time I did it, to try to like it was the last attempt to try to do something good for myself, and then I ended up going to, I don't know what happened, but I had that emptiness feeling again, and I pretty much got like eventually within a couple days after doing that, I started feeling emotionally detached, and it got really bad for like this the last whole week. I completely my brain shut down all emotions. I couldn't deal with it anymore, and I was completely overwhelmed. And I felt like I didn't throughout this whole time. Like I started feeling like I couldn't talk to anyone. Like my parents, I feel like I couldn't talk to them because every time I did, my dad's not a good talker in the first place, and he doesn't know or really experience anxiety at all, so he doesn't know what that is really at all. I don't blame him for that, but so that caused me to be distant from him and not even bother talking. And then my mom, like she has the same things that I do, but we've been at each other's throats like a lot within the last year, like over the summer and everything like that, and after that a little bit, and it was just all constant, just a frustration talk with her all the time. So I felt like I didn't have her to help me anymore, and so I felt like I didn't really have nobody there to help me when I needed it. Like for instance, like financial stuff. Like I needed the therapist, but I was putting everything on me, and it just became too overwhelming, and I kind of just shut my brain just shut down because I didn't have a way out, and I was so frustrated with everything. And so what happened was not talking and just being distant from everybody. I felt completely alone and by myself with my issues, and I felt like I couldn't get any help from anybody. And then that caused me to kind of detach from myself a bit. And I'm still like, today's the best day I felt in like a whole week because it was scary. Just not being sure about anything, really not knowing how I felt. I wasn't eating, I wasn't doing what I wanted to do at all. And I had to go down to my mom, and I didn't want to be alone anymore. So I had to stay by her. And then she started, and I told her like why I wasn't coming to her. And so we got more stuff straightened out. And I pretty much I know why I was feeling this way, emotionally detached, because I don't know how to talk to my dad at all. And it really does bother me. Like it hurts me when I respect him so much and everything, that like I put so much pressure on myself, so that because I know the stuff that he's doing for me, and I want to be independent and on my own, but like I can't do that. Like I can't afford to do that. So, and like I was kind I kind of felt ashamed that I had an anxiety disorder, and that I was such a highly sensitive person, and I'm highly sensitive to stress and anxiety. So that was just kind of that. And then like I felt so helpless and helpless. And then when I started talking to my mom more, and like she didn't judge me for anything, and she kind of like she heard me and listened to me, and then she started helping me out with a lot of issues that like I don't know how to solve, but she kind of helped me with that a lot. And so that's what I learned. I learned that if you don't have a good like a good support group, like if your family isn't like stable as in like they all kind of look out after each other. They're involved, and they try to help each other out. When you don't have that, it's really, really, really difficult. And for people that are really susceptible to anxiety and stuff like that, it's very hard, very, very hard. And it can be really, really bad mentally. But there was issues that I was having, and a lot of stuff that I just couldn't deal with. So I had to get help for that. But like, so sometimes when you're just in a bad mental state, you have to think, like, when you don't know what's going to help or anything, you have to think about what caused you to get into this position. Like, there are things that lead up to it all. And it's really uncomfortable for me, like with my dad. Like, I don't know how to talk to him at all, and that really bothers me. I don't like it. It made me start avoiding him completely, and I don't like avoiding people that I live with, especially my own dad. That I have a lot of. It's just, you know, I'm gonna start going to counseling soon and hopefully working stuff out more. And I'm feeling better. It's a slow process, but you know. Also, my anxiety is always worse at night. By the way, too. And for some reason, I always get like motivation to do these things at night, and I don't know why. But I also, a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, maybe a little less than a month ago, I deal with insomnia, and pretty much it got to the point where I just didn't feel rested anymore. I woke up, didn't feel like I slept at all, then went back to sleep, and my body and my mind is just ravished from so much anxiety and stress that it just took my brain over the tipping point. And it's scary when you've never dealt with things like that before. I'm used to depression and stuff like that. Like, I would have rather had that sort of than what I had and what I'm currently working on coming back from. But yeah, if there's issues that you know about, you need to talk to somebody. And if you don't know how to talk to somebody, try to see if someone else can talk to them for you. Someone else who understands you a lot more. And or sometimes you just gotta do it yourself. That can't be me right now because I'm too vulnerable with a lot of things. But yeah, it's all psychological stuff. But I'm slowly getting better, and I'm gonna be getting therapy soon, so that would help out a lot more. But yeah, that's gonna be it. If you need help, if you can afford therapy, try to find a good one for you. Find one that fits well with you, and you can connect well with. Um, that's all I want to say. Uh, there is help out there. Try to get it. Just talk to whoever you need to. Sometimes just talking will help you feel better. You know. That's out. That's out. That's it. If you watched it this far, I appreciate it. Deuces.